Robert Pattinson became the most recent caped crusader in 2022 when he became the Batman. The Twilight alum stepped into some big bat shoes in a role previously held by A-listers Michael Keaton, George Clooney, Val Kilmer, and Christian Bale.
Wow.
And so the debate about who played him best rages on, and everyone has their favorite Batman. I like Val Kilmer.
Did you see Christian Bale's biceps?
Oh, it's Michael Keaton. Look, I know it's Michael Keaton. But hold on a second, we cannot forget Batman's true origin story that took place on ABC in the 1960s. W.H. Stratton here with what happened, and today we're talking about the original cast of It was the first show filmed in color, and fans of the show loved the villains as much as the heroes, leading to tons of celebrity guest stars. But did you know that Batman almost never made it to air? Before we slide down the emergency chute into the Batcave, be sure to hit that thumbs up icon to show support. And subscribe to the channel so you never miss any of the action.
Fantastic, pretty lady.
Now hop into the Batmobile and buckle up as we show you what happened? Adam West. Long before Adam West was the mayor of Quahog, he was the original caped crusader. Before Batman, West was a radio disc jockey and a contract player for Warner Brothers. He was cast in this iconic role because his deadpan delivery was a perfect fit for the campy nature of the show.
Poor deluded child.
Bert Ward. Batman's trusty sidekick Robin was played by the accomplished martial artist Bert Ward. He beat out competition for the role because Bert could do his own stunts and was good friends with his neighbor Bruce Lee. But the skimpy costume didn't offer the boy wonder much protection from debris and pyrotechnics. And Robin visited the emergency room quite often, once claiming he was nearly blinded by a flash of an on-set explosion. His costume also didn't hide his bulge very well, and the producers allegedly wanted him to take pills to solve the problem. So much for being born lucky.
I think I've got it.
Hopefully this former boy wonder is landing in the emergency room less frequently, as he turned 77 in July of 2022. Cesar Romero. Before Cesar Romero became the Joker, he had already played the Cisco Kid, and many roles in musicals and comedies as a suave Latin lover. His signature laugh also happened by accident. When he first saw his costume, he spontaneously erupted into laughter. So the producers asked him to recreate the laugh for the show, and the rest is history. The Joker was a minor villain in the original comics, but Romero's popularity in the show influenced the character's direction in future comics. And the actor claimed that playing the character permanently changed his natural laugh too. Cesar Romero died in 1994 at the age of 86. Vincent Price, already well known as the master of horror when he began making appearances as Egghead.
But I'm a complete coward.
With a very high forehead and an affinity for yellow suits, Egghead was accompanied on his capers by his accomplices.
A hungry Neosaurus, my little friend.
Miss Bacon, Benedict, and Fu Young. Egghead's signature bald cap took up to 30 minutes to properly remove, which was way too long for a busy man like Vincent Price, who opted to just rip it off like a big band-aid at the end of shoots, forcing the always harried wardrobe department to keep plenty of replacements on hand. Vincent Price continued acting until he died in 1993 at the age of 82. He made numerous guest appearances in films and TV shows, even voicing animated characters for Scooby-Doo and Tiny Toons. Fans of Price included the King of Pop himself, who featured Price's iconic voice on his mega hit Thriller.
For no mere mortal can resist the evil of the Thriller.
Julie Newmar. As Catwoman, Julie Newmar was one of the most popular guests on the show, and one of her autographed headshots even served as the MacGuffin for the 1995 film Tu Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar. In 2004, Halle Berry didn't show up in person to accept her Razzie Award for Catwoman.
The stakes are your life.
So Julie Newmar accepted on her behalf.
Is that so?
Back in the day, Newmar had never even heard of Batman when she was living with her brother in New York. So she was initially insulted by the offer.
But all good things must come to an end, and the goodest ending I can think of is yours.
Until her brother and his buddies told her that it was their favorite show.
Please, it's Batman!
In fact, they explained they would blow off their studies at Harvard just to watch it. She said that she enjoyed playing the part because she could be, quote, mean, bad, and nasty.
Batman.
In 2004, Newmar's next-door neighbor, Jim Belushi, sued her for $4 million for vandalism and voyeurism. She allegedly threw an egg at Belushi's house when his air conditioner was too loud.
There's never enough for two.
And complained about him using his hot tub in the nude. I'd complain about that too, unless it was one of the Belushi brothers. They are just too cool to rat on. The two actors buried the hatchet in 2006, and Newmar even made a guest appearance on According to Jim. Fittingly, she played Jim's neighbor who accused him of stealing her dog. Today, Julie Newmar is in her late 80s and is both an avid gardener and still a sensitive neighbor, as she also initiated a temporary ban on leaf blowers in LA. But hey, I get it. Cats have very sensitive ears.
Don't run away, Batman. I won't bite.
Frank Gorshin. And again, the Riddler was a minor villain in the comics, but B-movie actor and impressionist Frank Gorshin was so popular as the Riddler.
You're scared.
That he became one of the show's most recurring guest stars, and the only actor on the show who ever received an Emmy nomination. Gorshin also didn't like his skin-tight costume.
Could never begin to conceive my ingenious stratagem.
And the producers created his business suit to order. It wound up becoming the Riddler's standard look in subsequent comic book appearances. Frank was frequently in demand for celebrity roasts until he died of lung cancer and emphysema in 2005 at the age of 72. Milton Burrows. Uncle Milty played Louis the Lilac.
Now I have 3 hostages.
The leader of a crime syndicate who steals all the flowers in Gotham City and lures our heroes into a flowery trap. Milton Burrows was already a comedy icon by the time he made a guest appearance on this show, and other actors were kicked off the soundstage because they couldn't stay in character when Burrows performed. It created so much trouble working around all the onlookers who gathered in the park that they had to add an unscheduled day of shooting just to finish the episode. The acclaimed Milton Burrows' career spanned 8 decades, and he passed away in 2002 at the age of 93. Eartha Kitt. Julie Newmar was shooting McKenna's Gold in 1969 and couldn't return for the show's final season. So Eartha Kitt took on the ears, and it was a controversial choice to cast an African-American actress. But luckily, the producers weren't overly concerned about the objections of some of ABC's affiliates. But the ongoing sexual tension between Catwoman and Batman was kinda dropped.
Muscular custody.
Eartha Kitt was known to speak out on social issues, and she made Lady Bird Johnson cry in 1968. While attending a luncheon at the White House, she spoke out against the Vietnam War. She told the First Lady, "You send the best of this country off to be shot and maimed. They rebel in the street. They don't want to go to school because they're going to be snatched off from their mothers to be shot in Vietnam." Her statements led to a public outcry, and she was professionally exiled for her words. She returned overseas to perform on stage for a decade, and then returned to Broadway for the original production of the musical Timbuktu. Eartha actually returned to the White House in 1978 to a very warm welcome from Jimmy Carter. Eartha Kitt died of colon cancer in 2008. Burgess Meredith. The Penguin was one of the most popular guests on the show, and the producers already had a script ready for Burgess Meredith when he was in LA, but he actually wasn't the first choice. They first offered it to Mickey Rooney, as well as Spencer Tracy, who only passed when they told him he wouldn't get to kill Batman. Meredith was an ex-smoker when he was cast,
Cigarette holders, did you?
and his signature squawk was a result of the cigarettes irritating his throat. His waddle was also unscripted, as Meredith partly had a hard time moving in the fat suit. Burgess Meredith stayed busy until the day he died. He played the hard-nosed trainer Mickey Goldmill in the first 3 installments of the beloved Rocky franchise. And he also played the grumpiest old man of all as Jack Lemmon's father.
Looks like Chuck's taken old One Eye to the optometrist. Gee, Stan.
Terribly, Burgess Meredith suffered from Alzheimer's and died in 1977 at the age of 89. Yvonne Craig. In the final season of Batman, Commissioner Gordon's daughter Barbara donned a batsuit behind her father's back, and the dynamic duo became a trio, and Yvonne Craig did most of her own stunts. She operated the Batgirl cycle on her own and was a highly accomplished dancer. She appeared in 2 movies with Elvis Presley in the early 60s, and dated the king before he married Priscilla. Craig also made a memorable appearance on Star Trek as Marta, and made guest appearances on Kojak and The $6 Million Man after Batman. Yvonne Craig entered the real estate business later in her career, and sadly died of breast cancer in 2015 at the age of 78.
It's no joke. It's the federal equal pay law.
In 1966, Batman replaced The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet on the ABC schedule. At the time, it was the longest-running TV sitcom with a 14-year run, and test audiences gave Batman the worst test score in network's history, and the show only aired because they had spent too much money to turn back now. But luckily, they had a hit on their hands.
Truth, despite what it might do to our public image.
And many of the top celebrities in the 1960s agreed to make guest spots.
Oh, a twist!
When the show was canceled in 1966,
Good show, Robin.
NBC was interested in taking it over.
Oh, how delicious!
But ABC had already bulldozed all the sets, and the Peacock didn't want to spend an estimated $800,000 to start from scratch. Adam West frequently complained about being typecast, and also blamed the show for ruining his marriage.
We don't give up.
But Adam eventually embraced it, and he appeared at every San Diego Comic-Con from 2007 until 2016. Adam West passed away in 2017 at the age of 88. His ashes scattered into the Pacific. He didn't want a funeral, but his hometown of Walla Walla, Washington, does celebrate Adam West Day each year on September 18th. So that's been our look at the stars of Batman. So now it's your turn to talk. Get in the comments and tell me who played Batman best.
The utility belt.
Does that differ from the best Bruce Wayne?
Batman's funeral dirge begin.
Who is the greatest villain of all time? Get in the comments and let us know.
I decline!
And please hit the thumbs up icon if you don't mind. And subscribe to the channel and come back often so we can keep telling you what happened?